The company that currently owns the Intellivision license and what goes with it has decided to make a video game console that no one wants. Intellivision Entertainment released a video showing and showcasing a game system they want to make in the next couple of years that is going to have exclusive games on it and a lot of other seemingly fun stuff. I want to go through that little kind of trailer footage with you, take a look at it, and kind of break down what they're pointing at, what they're looking at, and really seeing what kind of market and who wants this thing. So it's the Intellivision man. It's expected. Now he's in 3D. I actually like this part. This is really neat looking. So Intellivision Entertainment, that's who holds the license for Intellivision now. Just don't make the mistake. Mattel does not own Intellivision anymore. They haven't in a long time, so don't associate Mattel with this. In case, last thing they made was the Hyperscan. Ugh. So this is their timeline, which is cool. First 16-bit console. Now, yes, it had a 16-bit processor. Don't compare it to a Genesis or a Super NES. My goodness, don't. First talking game, I'll give them that. I guess that was the first talking game. This is an interesting point. Now, I don't know how many people will catch this, just kind of glancing through. They're showing a picture of the play cable. And it was a peripheral that plugged into a coax cable into a cable provider's network that had a special distribution system which you could download games. Atari did this as well. Not quite in the same fashion, but mostly in the same fashion, I guess. When I say not the same fashion, as in, this looked just like a proper peripheral for the Intellivision. The Atari one looked like a cartridge. But anyways, it downloaded games to the system. I don't think a whole lot of providers really supported it, but it was a first. And the Sega did this as well with the Sega channel. So it's not a new thing, but I guess Intellivision must have been the first with play cable, that is pretty cool. Sports licenses are cool if that's a thing you're into. It's a hard thing now. It's crazy money. And now, the first 16-directional disc and D-pad controller. Well, it is the first. Is it good? I've never liked that controller. It's to me, it's the most awkward controls. Those side buttons are awful. I know nothing about this, so no comment. I never played Utopia. If it was the first RTS, that's awesome. That's very cool. And this is just a very 70s marketing thing. This whole comparison. It's almost like how you have two companies that were popular and one would always compare themselves to the other while the other didn't really do that. It's kind of like Coke and Pepsi. Coke doesn't mention Pepsi, but Pepsi tends to mention Coke. Nintendo didn't talk about Sega, but Sega would always compare themselves to Nintendo. It's that kind of marketing. I don't know. I don't know if Atari was... I don't remember their ads off the top of my head right now, but anyways, comparisons, that's what they did. First console war. That is true. That's absolutely true, though. So you do have Intellivision Atari. Atari was 77, Intellivision was 79. And yes, that was the first console war. That was each other's competition. Company pillars. I guess those are good pillars. Simple, affordable, family fun. Kind of a Nintendo-y vibe. No ultra-violence. We don't want ultra-violence. And the reveal, the Amico, it looks like that thing that's in your house that calls the ambulance if you fell and you can't get up. And those are the things inside that you hang on yourselves that you charge them. It looks like that. It's kind of like how the Cleco Chameleon looks at the Jaguar that kind of look like a toilet. Things look like stuff. Whatever. Amico. Preliminary conceptual design. Introducing the new Intellivision console. So hardware and technology, what's it got in there? 21st century technology, 2D chip and architecture. What does that mean? What makes a chip a 2D chip? Maybe I don't know. I think any chip could be a 2D chip, couldn't it? Maybe like an FPGA. It could. We had 2D chips in the Super NES or the Sega Genesis, and those are from the 20th century. So these are 21st century 2D chips. They must be pretty amazing. What's funny about that, though, is the beginning of the ad shows the Intellivision guy in 3D. Yeah. Okay. On the back, we have HDMI, multiple USB ports, what looks like an SD card slot. I know these are drawings, so this could completely change, and a power adapter, and what looks like an internal power adapter. No brick. I do like that, because those bricks are annoying. It's got Wi-Fi, guys. It's got Wi-Fi. And onboard interactive lighting, like all the kids do in their computers nowadays, and put them under their cars. You want the onboard lights. The onboard lights is cool. The controllers. 2 wireless Bluetooth controllers with a touch screen and a simple positional disc. And 4 arcade-style tactile feedback buttons. Okay. So, just looking at it real quick. What screams arcade about those buttons? Okay, and tactile feedback. Okay, so they click. That's cool. They click. I don't see much in the way of arcade on those. They're buttons. And how would you hold that? So do you hold it like... So, I mean, if you hold it like a controller, and that circle D-pad thing is on the left, where your left thumb is, and those buttons aren't anywhere near your other thumb. I guess they could be like shoulder buttons if they're on the other side too. You could do that, or using that touch screen. I don't think people really want to use touch screens. Touch screens are fine for certain things, but if you're not looking at the screen as you're playing it, it doesn't work. You can't look at a TV and use touchscreen buttons unless the entire screen is just one giant button. You got to look at it, and it looks like another SD card on the bottom. Maybe they're going for something where you can take these things on the go. That would be kind of cool. So we got that. Okay, so it moves. Okay, so it's like, modern stuff. Has force feedback. Special note power A. They put force feedback on it. Something that you can't do on that new Switch controller for some reason. Microphone speaker. That could be useful. And charging where you don't plug it in. I like that. I like that too. Alright, so, and you can also use your phone as a controller. Why don't you just use the phone as your only controller? Then you can save money on hardware. All games are console exclusive, so you're going to have developers making only 2D games for only this platform and nothing else. That's going to be a stretch. And the quality control is by the Blue Sky Rangers. How many people watching this ad know what the Blue Sky Rangers are? They're kind of like the quality control team for the Intellivision. I can tell you that. Kind of like the Nintendo quality of seal thing that they used to put and still put on their systems and games and stuff. But a lot of people modern day, do they know what that is? They probably see that and think it's the Blue Angels that fly at air shows. Hey, the air show guys told me the game's good. That's great. Balanced gameplay and design for equal opportunity gaming. I would hope that most games are equal opportunity, and then you build a skill set on top of that. So you dumbing games down? I mean, come on. Practice. Then you play more. What else you got? Come on. Okay, games are priced from $3 to $8. That's a small price point and no DLC. So little tiny games. How are they gonna make money on that? They gotta sell a whole lot of them. Oh, and it said it goes online. Just to let you know, it's Wi-Fi and it goes online. And it has a time and space leaderboard system. What does that even mean? That it takes the space in the screen and you get a score, and at some point in time they put it on there. I don't know what else that's supposed to mean. I don't know. Rewards. Well, okay, that people like achievements, trophies, and whatnot. Multiplayer online and a store. Well, of course, if you're buying games for $3 and $7 a piece, you need a store to sell them. And the price point is $150 to $180. Well, maybe $150 if it really does all this. I don't think you want to get into the $200 territory. So I'd try to keep that low. And you have reimagined licenses, which means they're going to re-release Intellivision games for this system. In what? You can't release them in 3D because that's not what you're doing. So you're just gonna what, pretty up the 2D graphics? Because a lot of times when they reimagine games, they make them 3D or some form of 3D, like that Pac-Man 256 or something similar. But you're not doing that because you're keeping it 2D, right? Okay, cool. So all these Intellivision games remade, are Atari classics remade, a Magic classic. So I like a Magic games; they're fun. Moto Race, Miner 2049, or Tropical Angel, Burger Time, Moon Patrol is fun. R-Type. Was R-Type an Intellivision game? Or just arcade? Just arcade, right? Okay. And 10-Yard Fight, which is showing pretty much the NES box art. And okay, so I may be down on this. If was 10-Yard Fight an arcade game? I know, Kung Fu was. Maybe 10-Yard Fight was too. Maybe that's why it's in there, and I just didn't know that. I apologize if that's the case. Load Runner, it's a popular one. Okay, so Kung Fu Master. So a 10-Yard Fight must have been an arcade game, and maybe so was Toe Jam and Earl. I thought that was only Sega. Spelunker. Yeah. Brand new exclusives. 20 brand new. If you can launch 20 brand new games that are halfway decent for launch, that's a really good start. So no knocking anybody there. That's awesome. And here's the team. This looks like the lineup for the Power Rangers. This guy, so I didn't know anything about this guy before until reading him. So he made music on all these games, which is great. It's games need music, and he did it for a long time. I'm really glad. I'm going to fast forward through some of this because this part to me is the most boring part of the presentation. So these people are basically marketing people. Great. Yep. Okay. So that's it. That's the Intellivision Amico, and all those people are involved, and I'm sure they all really know what they're doing. I'm really glad for that. My takeaway from this is, who is this for? Who is this system for? People who really like Intellivision, I don't think they're going to care to buy this thing for $180 and play online. I'm sorry, I don't think it's happening. There are a select amount of people who really like Intellivision and didn't grow up with it. I didn't have Intellivision back then. It was before I was born. And I never had any draw to really play Intellivision. I had a draw to play Atari for some reason, but Intellivision, I never really got into it. So, I think it was really good for the time. I think it was really great that it was Atari's competition at the time. I don't think this thing fits into modern. I mean, this feels like, and I don't want to say it, but it feels like it feels like the Chameleon, the Intellivision. Am I saying each one interchangeably? I'm sorry if I am. The Intellivision Amico, it has a feel like the whole Coleco Chameleon thing. It feels like somebody owns the license to it, and they want to make a game system because they own the license, not because they want to make something revolutionary. They want to ride on the name and hope people buy it just for that name. I don't know. Guys, let me know what you think below. Is this something that interests you even a little bit? Let me know why. Am I totally wrong here? Let me know. I don't mind the criticism. Let me know. As always, guys, I do appreciate the watch. I'll see you next time.